Put a bit of brown sugar in. Okay, now that it's boiling, I'll give a bit of stir and we'll start the pressuring. So as I said before, it'll take about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but with the pressure cooker, hopefully we can get it out in about 15 minutes. Okay, so you have to wait till the steam comes out. Because it was boiling, the steam is already coming out here. I can feel it. So then we can put the top on. And there she goes for about 15 minutes. Now when you make this dish, there's many different things you can serve it with. You could serve it with noodles, rice noodles on the side. You could serve it with rice on the side. Yeah, just plain steamed rice, because there is a lot of flavour in this dish. Also what you could do is, on the show I did a really nice salad which was mainly Asian herbs, so coriander, Thai basil, we did bean sprouts, what else, mint. So it was very, very refreshing, and the judges were very happy with that. They said it really complemented the richness of the duck with an Asian salad which had a lot of lime juice finished off as well. So that goes very nicely with it. You could do some wok fried vegetables as well. I've done them before with bok choy just fried up at the last minute. So it just depends what you feel like and what you've got available at home. We've got to wait for this one to come.
One of the things I was always interested in seeing the show, and other reality shows as well, is it seems to be a long period of time that you obligated to the show that people don't realise. They sort of see the structured show as it is. I mean, hours per day you mentioned in the earlier session, but how long were you actually on the show yourself? From the moment you signed up, or were signed up, to the actual completion when you left, and the finale, so how many months?
Months. I applied in March last year. We found out that we got in April. It was Easter time. It was the April school holidays. Then we had to do paperwork that entire time, creating recipes, like 3-course meals had to be devised, and that took months just to do the recipes. They said, no, we don't like that one, do a WA menu, do a this one, do a that one. And Justine was up in the truck up north, so she couldn't do any of it, so I was working full time and writing recipes every moment that I got to do on the show. Then we started filming in August, and we didn't finish until December. So it's you really give up 3/4 of a year to the show. You know, the thing is, you have to be able to get the time off work. Luckily I work for the government, so I was able to get time off, one semester off work, so it tied in okay. Justine was on long service leave. She drives the trucks up north on the mines, and she happened to have her long service leave then, so it worked out very well. She took long service leave and came on the show, came to Sydney for the 4 months.
And you're looking at the same place we mentioned before, service departments and so on. So how many obligations per day were there? Were there appearances on radio in the morning? You were doing talk back, doing interviews, any media in the morning?
No, we didn't do any media at all while the show was being filmed. No one really knew it was being filmed. You don't start that until it goes on air in, what did we start? Late January, I think it ended up on TV. There it goes, finally starting. So have a look at the watch, about 15 minutes we'll give it, I think. So, what was I talking about?
Your obligations.
Oh yes, yeah, what we did every day. So some days you would start at 4:30 in the morning. They'd bring the bus and we're all half asleep, pick you up at 4:30, take you to the studio, film all day, get back maybe 9 p.m. and yeah, I would just die, you know, so I wouldn't even have dinner. I lost 5 kilos during the show because I was so exhausted. So your days were very full. Then the following day you would go and do 2 hours of filming. The little bits where you're sitting next to each other, they were filmed the following day. Then you had time to do more recipes. They were constantly saying, okay, you've got another challenge coming up. Sometimes you know what the challenge is, and then you have to start preparing. Sometimes they'll give you a hint saying, oh, citrus. Well, that could be sweet, savoury, you don't know what they're going to throw at you. So there is always an element of surprise, even if you've been given a hint.
Did other contestants actually fall off the wagon, so to speak, in the sense that they were so exhausted, they were so tired? Apart from yourself.
Everyone was exhausted. We were all so tired. I think the young ones did a lot better job at it, to be honest. They were raring to go, and the older people, we were just so tired. I mean, it was exhausting. A lot of people were missing their kids, like the Kiwis, their kids were home in New Zealand, and people that had left their children behind. It was very, very stressful for them. It was terrible, but you know, you just had to make the most of it and try not to complain too much, because I think that when you did complain, I think they kind of let you go and thought, yeah, see you later, goodbye. And the actual day when
you realise you hit the wall.
yeah, and I said it on the day, every time you cook, like you've got your bench, you have your own producer, your own camera, your own sound person. So I said to the producer the day that we were getting booted off, I said, today we're going to leave, I just know it. Now, whether they took that and said, these girls have got to go or whatever, or we just did terribly that day, is another thing. And she's like, don't say that, don't say that. And I said, yeah, I'm saying it. I just know today's going to be our last day. And it was.
Can you tell us some of the highlights apart from the hard work? And obviously it is hard work, and you can only construe it as being hard. But what were some of the highlights for the
I think meeting some really nice people, and everybody hates Thomas, but Thomas has ended up being a very, very good friend of mine. So the people that I met was great. To be honest, they sent us off for cooking classes. We did go to about 6 or 8 cooking classes, but I studied cooking at Bentley Tech, so I didn't get anything out of it. But for people like Thomas, who's never cooked in his life, there were people on that show, you don't have to know how to cook. It's more about personality and fitting in with the demographics. So some people learn a lot on how to cook, but for me, I'd already studied it, so I didn't learn that much. But yeah, the travel was good, but you're on a plane every 3 days. You got somewhere, and then the next day you would film, and then the next day you would film, and then you would sometimes get on a plane and leave that day or the following day. So I got a lot of frequent flyer points, which was really good. Thank you, Qantas.
And when it came to the dinner parties, were there any meals that stood out to you
Jen and Lee's meal was very good. They are very good cooks, Jen and Lee, yes. They did a Thai meal and it was very, very nice. They had a salad, a Thai salad entree, then they did a fish, which is also Thai style. The only disaster they had was their dessert. A lot of people don't like Asian desserts, and theirs didn't work very well at all, and they served it on a tile, and they didn't do as well as what they expected. But in the end, of course, they won. They are, well, Jen's a very good cook. Lee follows Jen. Most teams had the stronger cook and the weaker cook. Nick and Rocco is an outstanding cook, and he's doing very, very well for himself. He's selling macarons. I think he makes $1,000 a week.
Self-taught cooks?
Yes, I think so. Although Jen, Princess, was saying that she'd never had a cooking class, which was obviously a lie. That girl has been trained in cooking. I was up front and I told them when I entered, yes, I have cooked. You know, I cook for a living. I worked at the Wembley Hotel in the kitchen. You know, I was honest. But some people, perhaps they're saying that Jen was not honest and she had been working in the kitchen as chef. So you're not supposed to be a fully trained chef.
Okay, that's not
yeah. So the whole principle is you're a home cook and you're just good at doing what you do. And at the end of the day, I think you can only do your best, and I was exhausted, and you know, our best turned out not to be quite good enough for them in the end, but I had a good time. Yeah, we got halfway. Emma and Andrew were unfortunate that they were knocked out first. I'm not sure why, but you never quite know. Yeah, I think they did have potential, so it was quite sad that their other WA team didn't make it very far at all, but that happened last year as well. I don't know, maybe they hate WA, they got out first last year as well, so.
You know, they normally say that a mechanic always drives a bumper of a car, and a bootmaker walks around the holes in his shoes. So, seeing that you cook for a living.
Yes.
What do you cook when you get home?
This is something I cook. Yeah. Anything, that chocolate chili that I cooked, it's something that I cook. I cook in bulk. It's only my husband and myself. So I get home from work and I put the pressure cooker on. I did the other night the pork that I did on the show, which was pork cutlets wrapped in prosciutto. So a lot of times I do fancy things, but then a lot of times I'm pulling it out of the freezer. I make a lot of curries in here. I'll do a whole kilo of meat and I'll freeze it into 3 portions. And some days I don't get home from work until 6 o'clock, and on those days I'm just pulling it out of the freezer. But we barbecue a lot. I do like meat. We do eat a fair amount of meat. No, we don't. Yes, I do béarnaise sauce quite well. I do a blue cheese sauce to go on the steak. So sometimes I'll cook a fillet of beef with a used béarnaise sauce. My husband's factory makes demi-glace. So with the demi-glace I can then do a range of base sauces. Yeah, so I cook like everyone else really. Most nights, you know, I get the wok out or whatever. It's got to be quick. I allow myself from 6 to 6:30 to cook the dinner. 30 minutes. Okay, so that's why I have a pressure cooker. You know, I do a big noodle soup. I did Jen's beef laksa that was in a magazine the other day, and I must say the effort I put into that, half an hour just cooking the paste, it wasn't worth it, to be honest. So you have to pick and choose what's going to be worth it in the time frame that you've got. As most people don't have much time. I think if we